And this is a first. Put all the children in the 6-year-old classes on the developing musicians and the advanced readiness classes, all together in one little presentation. And really the purpose of it is to kind of give a little bit of a, a little bit of a layout of the land of what we do in these classes, because I kicked you out at the beginning of the year, unlike the other classes where you get to stay and watch. So as for the parents a little bit, and I'll talk about that. But bear with me, because I have never had all these classes at the same time, and we're going to do a little dance to get them all adjusted and where they need to be at the xylophones, because we didn't do a dress rehearsal or anything. But I trust their musicianship to be able to pull this off. And maybe we'll have to stop once and start over or something. But I think if they listen to each other, and you guys know that's the rule, right? Listen to each other. That it'll be fine. It'll be a nice demonstration of what we've been working on. And then after the xylophone choir, I have 3 students who I haven't been able to get rid of. I think one I've had for 5 years. How long have I had you, Grace? 5 or 6 years. And Julia's been 5 here, but 4 with me? Or 5 with me. Okay, so I have some 3rd graders that started a long time ago, and they're here. And then a 5th grader as well. Sarah, she's been in my class at least 4 years. 5. 6? My class for 6?
Yes.
I'm kidding. Anyway, it's been a real treat this year, and I want to share with you what we do. Hey guys, let's show them our homework, our track 1 homework. Can you? This is where we start. I start something like this. I say it makes no sense because why? It needs a place to end, right? And then I'll say, well, does Twinkle Twinkle have the same resting tone as like this old hammer? That song, do they have the same resting tone? No, because one ends on and the other ends on. And they learn their tonalities that way. And then we start to sing. And we sing in tune, and I tell them, oh, here's your homework, do track 1 for me. Ready? Go ahead, ready, go.
Do, re, do, re, mi, re, do, so.
And they can do, all right, stop. And then they do 16. All right, stop, you stop, guys. It's going to be a little loose like classes often, so. And then we do minor. Can we do tonal patterns in minor? So they learn major from minor because of the resting tones. They sing these patterns, and then what happens? Eventually. Now we also then we'll take those and we'll learn what functions are. And if you don't know what functions are, they're the chords that go to songs. Like if I took Mary Had a Little Lamb and I add this to it, what do I call this? Tonic, and this? Dominant. And they learn what functions belong to what songs and where they go, and then we start to read. Joshua, where's your paper? You gave it to me already? Sorry. Then we do tricky things like reading tonal patterns. Let's see, who would like to go first? Who wants to go first? Now, after a while, they've learned their tonal patterns so well. So they start to read, it's very good, Julia, it's very nice. They start to read and start to hear what they see on the paper. And we also do the same thing with rhythm patterns. And some of the patterns get very complicated. Who would like to do track 10? Anybody want to do track 10?
Not me.
Ready? Good. Very nice. If you can hear them, they're doing some patterns that I don't know that I examined until I was in high school, and they start to recognize them whether they're in order or not. So the tape helps them to learn those, and then they put them together. So if they learn their tonalities, major and minor, and then their functions, and then they learn to read rhythm patterns, then what we've done with the kids who've been with me for several years is I have them take some of the rhythm patterns and put their own tones to them to make melodies for themselves. And then we've taken those and tweaked them. I've added accompaniments. But it's been, like I said, a very interesting semester for me because we've done some things that I've never done before. Right now, I think we're ready to play xylophones. I'd like for the children to play on I Have a Dog. Come up on stage and choose your xylophone. So, with every song that we learn on the xylophones, we learn the melody, and then we play the roots to the melody, and the roots are the bottom notes to the functions that I shared a couple of earlier on the piano, the chords that go underneath the melody. And after I do the roots, some of the children go on and they play, beyond that, they play the functions as well. Okay. Are you guys ready? You want to go with me? One down on those, one down on me. Okay, ready? Wait for me a second. 1, Ready? And that's a melody actually oh, hi sister, thanks for coming. Here, you can go right on. That's a melody, it's a little bit unusual in that the beat is a little, well, it's unusual. They're not the same size. And what do we call that? Unusual meter, because the big beats aren't the same size. Was there a question? Oh, Eric's here too, come on. Great.
Traffic was miserable.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. This is not the best time. Hi Eric, come on. It's fine. We just played the melody to I Have a Dog. We need you to come out and play roots if you would. You want to use the big xylophone here for now? The bass xylophone, please.
Forrest is not here.
That's okay. Maybe he'll come late too. I'll find another xylophone for him. Anyway, let's go on and we'll play the roots to that song. So one melody on do, one melody on so. There is. We're in good shape. Right?
Dad?
So the roots go with the melody, and the roots help go underneath the functions. Raise your hand if you're a person that plays the functions to the song. Eric, will you come up here on this xylophone for that? All right, so will those children go ahead and play the functions to that? One, two, and here. Go. So those are the chords that go with the melody. Now we're going to put it all together. Now, who forgets what part we're playing? Yeah, we're going to do roots. Or and roots, right? Melody. Melody. Okay, you ready? Everybody's ready? Five dollars, all together. One, two, and here, go. And we've done that to a bunch of songs this year. And each child, if they can, learns all three parts in every song. So they know the melody and when the changes happen underneath the melody and how they are to occur. Can I show off a couple things that we know, and then we'll go on to Mary Ann. If I were in major, who can tell me what function that is? I'm in major, and I'm going. What is it, Peter? Dominant of. That's right. It's the dominant of the subkey, which is a nice sound to have. And major, and they start to hear, oh, fancy stuff. And it's really interesting to watch when they have that vocabulary in their ear, what happens when they compose later. So not only do they know their tones and their rhythms and be able to play melodies, but they start to get a bigger picture of what they can absorb when they're listening to music that's a little more complex than, or a little more interesting. It's just interesting to me. And they really develop that understanding and then can apply it. For the next song, Mary Ann, what I like to do is, we're just going to play through it. The first time, we just do melody and roots together. The second time is soft and we add functions to it. The third time, they're getting a little bit of vocabulary and how to improvise. So they're just adding, you're adding a little bit of melody on top of that. And the fourth time, Jake, would you raise your hand, or Jahil? He's going to do a little bit of improvisation with this. And guys, given there's so many of you, remember that last time? We want to be able to listen to Jake really well, okay? Listen. Okay. One, two. Then you're going to do roots. Right? Roots. Roots. We do this every week. It doesn't matter how many times we have to go through what they're playing each time. So, first time, who's playing roots the first time? Raise your hand. Good. Who's playing melody the first time? Raise your hand. All right. Now the second time is soft. Who's playing roots? Who's playing melody? That's me. So. Right? And then who's playing do re mi the third time? All right. And then the fourth time, who's playing melody? Who's playing improvisation? Who's playing roots? And who's playing functions? I forgot functions. Right. Good. So everybody has the parts? If they only knew one part, it wouldn't be so confusing. One, two, three, go. Very good. Thank you. All right. Great job, guys. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the 3 composition students that I have. Grace, what do you want to come on up? Let's talk. First of all, what grade are you in?
3rd.
3rd grade. And when I gave you the assignment to take some rhythm patterns and add tones, you want to talk about?
Well, when I was writing it, I was on my keyboard because it was I was supposed to there, and I was thinking which tune I should write, and then when I was playing with them again and the keyboard sounded good, I found because I already found the rhythm, I had
Yeah, and then you brought it back to me, and we might have played around like just a couple notes or changed a couple things. Like one, I think we might have moved. I tweaked it a little bit, but basically it's all hers. And then I asked her to write a contrasting section. So let's change it. And how did you decide to change your middle section?
I decided to change it into minor.
Yeah, the first part's in major, and then she contrasted her A section with a minor B section. But it was an interesting choice, and I said, well, sometimes it goes from this major to this minor. She says, no, I like it where it is, so we left it there. And if you listen, you might hear that. But I still think it's quite a nice little piece. Anything else you want to say?
Just that I hope you like it.
And then they memorize it, but you turn please. Thank you, Grace, very much. Now, Grace is playing triple duty today. Not only did she write and play that, but she also plays the accompaniment on the next piece, which was written by Sarah Philippe. Sarah, will you come up? Where's Sarah? Oh, she's getting accompanied. Okay, I see her. Grace, you want to come on up? So Grace, I wrote a little accompaniment for Sarah's piece, and I gave it to Grace to learn. And then Sarah went ahead and memorized hers. So, let's see. You did the same assignment as everybody. They took rhythm patterns that they knew how to read and write, and then they added some tones to it. And you want to talk a little bit about that? Yeah. We've had this talk before. She wrote it down, and I was supposed to put it in the program, and I decided against it because I thought this conversation would be valuable. So, how did you? So she wrote a nice little trumpet thing. I think you performed it. You figured it out on your trumpet. Did you figure out? Yeah, she figured out her melody on her trumpet at home. And we tweaked again, maybe a note or two. And then I asked her to write a contrasting section, and she wasn't sure which kind of contrasting section she would do, but what did you end up doing? She changed how the feeling of it would go from a feel a little bit quicker to something that was slower. So and then we decided to go back to the beginning, or no? So we have an A section, and then the contrasting section slower, and then the end is, you don't go back to the beginning, right? She decided against repeating, which a lot of the other children had decided they liked that A-B and then going back to the beginning. But hers ends beautifully without it. Oh, yeah, we're going to. I have a lot of teachers in this class. They like to tell me. Are you more ready? You want to blow a little air through it? Yeah. That's okay. We talked about this. Go ahead. Just do it again. It's sticking, right?
Yeah.
Will that help? Would you like to get it? We're having a technical difficulty. We're going to get her valves freed up a little bit. She's played this. Her piece was ready back in November, and then she started memorizing it, I think, in January, and she's played it every week without music for the last 4 weeks. But her valve's sticking, and that's also a little bit, I think, a new situation. So we'll give her another chance in just a minute. And then we'll have our finale with Julia's piece for 4 xylophones. So, do you think you guys could write some music someday? Take the rhythm patterns that you know and add some tones? I know we just started writing, some of you started writing the patterns down that we've been working on. And then if they go more than 2 years, then I start asking them to get a little more creative, learn to improvise, learn to put, their ideas on paper and talk about their choices that they would like to have made in their pieces. Because I can tell you that other than writing the accompaniment for Grace's, I didn't write it actually, the accompaniment for Julia's, I'm sorry, I get you guys mixed up all the time. Yes, I know. Sarah's, I wrote the accompaniment for Sarah's piece so that Grace could play it. That the way they composed was really with each other in mind. Like what else could they do? So what instruments did we play? Well, Sarah could play. We had this long conversation about, if you have violin, what might go with that? Would you want 5 xylophones with that? Or would you like, so we've had lots of choices and lots of things to talk about. It's a long, hard process. Some of them actually started a second composition in the last few weeks. But to see it go all the way through from the beginning of, just a homework assignment, all the way to performing it from memory, it's really been fun. It's really been amazing with these guys. Sarah was she just got here right before 5 and rushed from, she has a trumpet lesson actually before she comes here. And she's playing oboe, she did play flute earlier, What else are you doing musically? She's busy. We're happy to have her fit Peabody into her schedule. Yes, question? All right, you ready, Sarah? You want the music stand? All right. Did you get this one well? Okay, it's still sticking. I don't know why. All right, well, we'll just have to see, okay? Because we don't have time to do any more. Let's try it one more time, and if not, that's great. We know how. Okay, we need to change the stage just a tiny bit. Julie, do you want to come on up? Yeah, Julia, when she did her homework assignment, she took the rhythm patterns off of the hardest track that there is on the homework CD. Some of you will recognize it. Do da 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 do dee do da 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 do da dee do da da do da dee do da da do da dee. That's the rhythm of the melody that Julia wrote. And she wrote it and brought it in, and we talked about what tonality it should be in, and where or what resting tone it should have. Where should it end? And I said, do you think it ends here? And she said, no. I said, do you think it ends here? No. How about here? Well, not really. I don't like the, you know. And what did you finally say? No. You said, I don't want it to be in a tonality. I don't. So it's a. You can make up which one. You can make up where you think it really should end in your mind, because it's not. Nobody agrees on what tonality it could be, and she didn't want it in one. So. Anyway, so that was very interesting. And then for your contrasting section, what did you do? Instead, we rehearsed this a little. I'll just go ahead. We went from tonal just to rhythm. Okay, so we decided to just use percussion for her contrasting section. And what did you title your piece? Magical Man. It's the name of it. So it looks like Magical Man, but it's really I guess a dance that goes with it. All right, what else do you need to say? Anything? Enjoy it. Ready? Thank you so much. It's really nice. There's a little bit of refreshment for the children and the parents, and there's probably some leftover. If you'd like to join us out back for chips and dip and drinks. Thank you so much for coming.